London, February 3, 2026. What began as a quiet legal inquiry has now erupted into one of the most serious royal welfare crises in modern history. According to multiple senior palace sources, Buckingham Palace confirmed late last night that emergency custodial protocols involving Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children, Archie and Lilibet, have been formally activated. The decision followed the delivery of a sealed legal brief to Windsor Castle at dawn, triggering what insiders describe as a Level 1 child welfare alert. The catalyst was a report originating in California. Sources close to international child welfare liaisons allege that on January 31st, the children were abruptly withdrawn from their private Santa Barbara schools without advance notice. No formal transfer documents were filed. No alternative educational placements were disclosed. And most concerning, no response was reportedly given when administrators flagged the absence as an urgent safeguarding issue. By February 2nd, senior members of the royal household were convened inside Windsor Castle for an unscheduled emergency meeting. According to those present, the atmosphere was tense and uncompromising. A single red file, marked "Immediate Custodial Concern," was placed before the king and senior advisors. What followed stunned even long-serving palace officials. The briefing reportedly outlined a pattern of parental disengagement, including the cancellation of medical appointments, blocked communication with welfare representatives, and the dissolution of education-linked trusts previously earmarked for the children's future. But the most explosive element, sources claim, was an intelligence memorandum alleging preparations for what advisors interpreted as a full separation between Meghan Markle and the children's royal identity. Internal legal correspondence, redacted agreements, and marketing instructions were cited as evidence of a deliberate effort to remove Archie and Lilibet from institutional oversight. A senior palace aide was quoted as saying, "This is not a disagreement between adults. This is about safeguarding children who carry constitutional and historical significance." That same afternoon, Princess Anne reportedly authorized the activation of emergency child protection mechanisms under long-standing royal welfare frameworks. The case file was immediately routed to both UK and US legal channels under joint jurisdiction. By nightfall, Prince William was briefed. According to witnesses, his response was immediate and decisive. One advisor recalled him saying, "This stops now. Whatever else has happened, the children come first." For the first time in decades, the monarchy was preparing to intervene, not politically, not symbolically, but structurally, in defense of minors connected to the crown. And this was only the beginning. Within hours of the emergency summit, the palace's legal and child welfare machinery moved into action. Sources confirm that Royal Custodial Safeguard Protocol, a rarely used mechanism designed to protect royal minors in cases of international instability, was formally invoked. This framework allows the Crown to assume temporary guardianship oversight when a child's welfare, identity, or legal continuity is deemed at risk. According to insiders, the findings presented to the Advisory Council rested on 4 central concerns. First, educational and medical disengagement. The alleged lack of consistent schooling, canceled pediatric oversight, and unacknowledged welfare notices raised immediate red flags. Second, jurisdictional instability. Reports referenced potential relocations to countries outside standard child protection treaties, complicating enforcement and safeguarding. Third, commercial exposure risks. Legal advisors reviewed documents suggesting possible monetization strategies involving the children's identities, plans that, if enacted, could violate both UK and international child privacy protections. In fourth, parental instability. Sources claim Prince Harry's own legal and residential uncertainties weakened arguments for sole guardianship under emergency review standards. Faced with these findings, the Advisory Council reportedly voted unanimously to enact temporary structural guardianship safeguards. The measures, according to briefings, included immediate travel restrictions preventing international movement without dual authorization, a 5-year freeze on commercial use of the children's names, likenesses, or royal associations, and the creation of a new Crown-supervised welfare fund dedicated solely to education, emotional support, and long-term stability. One palace official described the move bluntly: "This is not punishment. This is containment." Meanwhile, fallout rippled across the entertainment world. Multiple reports indicate that streaming platforms quietly removed references involving the children from promotional material. Licensing discussions stalled. Legal teams reassessed exposure. Behind closed doors, Prince Harry was reportedly informed that visitation and contact would now be governed under royal welfare conditions, pending further court determinations. A confidential letter delivered by royal courier outlined the new framework in strictly legal terms: no commentary, no emotion. At the same time, Princess Catherine quietly assumed a stabilizing role. Sources say she approved the involvement of specialist child psychologists and ensured that trusted caregivers were reassigned to maintain routine and familiarity. A single image released by Palace Communications showing the children alongside their cousins at Windsor was widely interpreted as deliberate reassurance. No statement accompanied it. None was needed. The message was clear. The institution had stepped in.
By February 4th, the narrative had shifted decisively. What was once framed as a private family dispute had become a constitutional child welfare intervention, one rooted not in scandal, but in safeguarding doctrine. Legal analysts note that the Crown's actions align with updated frameworks introduced in recent years to protect minors from digital exploitation, identity commodification, and transnational custody disputes. These protections, largely invisible to the public, exist precisely for moments like this. Public reaction has been sharply divided. Supporters argue the monarchy acted responsibly to shield children from instability. Critics claim overreach. But even skeptics acknowledge one truth: the children are now protected by the full weight of institutional law. As for Meghan Markle, her representatives have issued only brief statements citing privacy and jurisdictional disagreement. No direct response to the allegations has been recorded. Hollywood partners, meanwhile, appear cautious. Several projects reportedly paused pending legal clarity. Prince Harry's position remains uncertain. Sources suggest he has requested mediated access under the new framework. Whether that will be granted remains under review. What cannot be denied is the significance of this moment. For the first time in generations, the monarchy has drawn a firm boundary around its youngest members, not for optics, not for control, but for continuity and care. A senior constitutional advisor summed it up quietly: "The Crown adapts, but it does not abandon its children." And that is where this story now stands. This has not been about revenge. It has not been about image. It has been about guardianship, identity, and responsibility. As always, the capital storyline will continue to follow every verified development, separating speculation from substance and noise from truth. Because in the end, beyond the headlines and the fallout, 2 children remain at the center of history, and they deserve protection first.